Jhaymark Ronquillo, and maybe many of you are still wondering why I am still the host for the show. For your information, please watch this.
We need a host for our new show.
So what should we do?
Yeah, like who we're gonna pick.
Why not let's do it the way we've always done it? Right? Right. The golden ticket. And of course, whoever gets this, get to be the host of the show.
Where is the golden ticket?
I guess then find golden ticket here.
Kuya, can you like get me more bag of chips? Cause I really need to get that golden ticket. Get it fast, please. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Hey, it's me. Yeah, I need more. And that sums up why I am here as your host for today. Anyway, let's move on to our episode. Since I am the chosen host, I have the privilege to pick a tourist destinations in my own country. We will talk about one of the famous tourism destinations here in the country and the primary gateway to the rest of Mindanao region. Yes, you are right. I am talking about Cagayan de Oro City. Cagayan de Oro is a first-class, highly urbanized city in the northern Mindanao, the capital of Misamis Oriental Province. The city is called the whitewater rafting capital of the Philippines because of the extreme sports popularity here. The place is also considered as the happiest place in the country. The city of Golden Friendship is home to especially friendly and warm Filipinos. CDO becomes an independent city effectively on June 15, 1950 because of the Republic Act No. 521, which is an act creating the city of Cagayan de Oro as an independent city that comprises the barrios of Bogo, Agusan, and Alae of the municipality of Togolaan. As the time goes by and as the status of the city improves, there are so many organizations that have been created to help the people in Cagayan de Oro. Great example of this is the Balay Mindanao Foundation, which is a Mindanao-based and focused non-government organization. The Advocate of Philippine Fair Trade Incorporated, which is also a non-government organization aspiring for sustainable development and poverty alleviation through fair trade, and many more. On their way as a top tourist destination in the world, we invited here live in the studio the 11 losers. I mean the 11 tourism analysts from different parts of the world, as they will propose some tourism law to Cagayan de Oro as it seeks for continuous improvement and global domination as well-known tourism destination in the world. So now let's hear the first proposed law to our tourism destination. Jack, take it away.
大家好，我的名字是 Jacqueline， 今年22岁，来自菲律宾马尼拉。In recent years, the path of tropical cyclones around Philippines tend to take a more southern path. Therefore, the damages caused by tropical cyclones in Mindanao are increasing. The overflowing of Cagayan de Oro River has damaged Cagayan de Oro City heavily. In Cagayan de Oro River Basin, the flood caused by the upstream rain reaches the downstream urban areas in about a few hours, following straight through the flood-prone areas and causing damages. This is why I propose this law. This law is enacted with a view to preventing taking precautions against and alleviating calamities by flood and waterloggings, maintaining the safety of people's lives and property, and safeguarding the smooth progress of the socialist modernization construction. This law will be called the Flood Control of Cagayan de Oro Act 2021.
Wow, that was a great law regarding on the flood control since the country, specifically the region, is always been visited by typhoons and super typhoons every year. Anyway, let's move on to our second guest.
Nama saya Jhaymark Sicuya, umur saya 21 tahun, saya seorang Singapore Tourism Analyst. I will propose to you the Singapore Unlimited Transportation Act, or this can be called the Cagayan de Oro Transport Pass. This will be produced by the local government in collaboration with the Region and Department of Tourism Regional Office. This will be the only pass in Cagayan de Oro that offers tourists unlimited rides on CDO's public transport system with an option of 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day pass for only 500 pesos per day. With CDO-TP traveling on CDO's business or jeepneys, motorelas, taxis, and basic bus services will be cost-effective and convenient for tourists to explore the city and experience the best the city has to offer. The Cagayan de Oro Pass will be bought or issued inside the city at authorized sales counters that comes with a refundable rental deposit of 100 pesos if the card will be returned within 3 days of issuance. The card can be purchased and returned at designated sales offices that is located at selected bus stations and in Lumbia Airfield, which is the CDO's domestic airport.
Nice! This will enable the tourists to easily travel the whole vicinity and to simply enjoy the tourist destination without any hassle. Anyway, let's move on to our next speaker.
Buenos Aires todos, me llamo Tosha Delvo, tengo 21 años, soy de Andalucía, España. Cagayan de Oro is highly criticized for its poor waste disposal system and lack of sanitation facilities. I propose this law as this law is enacted for the purpose of preserving the living environment and improving public health through the restriction of waste discharge, appropriate sorting, transport, storage, collection, recycling, disposal, or the lack of waste, and conservation of a clean living environment. This law will not only change the life of the natives, but the tourism sector of Cagayan de Oro, because a clean and a litter-free ambience will certainly enhance the quality of the destination as well as the tourist experience. This law will be called the Waste Management and Public Cleanliness Act of 2021.
This is really an environment concern law, and I love this because I am an advocate against climate change, and we know that cleanliness is always an important aspect in every destination. Anyway, the speaker from South Korea is now ready to take away.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Shana Mae Maballo입니다. 24살이에요. 대한민국에서 왔어요. The Korean National Land Planning and Utilization Act. The purpose of this act is to provide public welfare and improve citizens' quality of life by providing for matters necessary for formulation, implementation, etc. use of plans to utilize, conserve, and develop the national land. I propose this act since Philippines experiences different kinds of natural disasters. And as Cagayan de Oro is part of the Philippines, they also experiences those disasters. In this act, they provide protection of life, property of people, and conservation of natural environment and scenery. Also, the improvement and restoration of the damaged natural environment and scenery. I will call this law as the Disaster Reduction Management of Cagayan de Oro of 2021. Kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida, Shana. Now let's hear it from our guest speaker from Maldives and Sri Lanka. The floor is yours now.
Namaste. Meron ng Wendell he, mere ayu besh barsh he, may Philippines hu, may Caloocan mereta hu. Maldives Tourism Act No. 2 of 1999. This act provides for the determination of zone and island for the development of tourism in Cagayan de Oro. the leasing of island for the development as tourist resort, the leasing of land for development as tourist hotel and tourist guest house, the leasing of place for development as marinas, and the management of all such facilities, and the operation of tourist vessel, diving center, and travel agency, and the regulation of person providing such service. This law will help CDO to become one of the top tourist destinations in the country. This will be called as Cagayan de Oro Leasing Act of 2021.
Subha Davasa Magenama Vane Dayan Canoy Matabayasa Aburudo 21 Yi Mama Abeshi Jawardene Pura Kote. Food Act and Regulations Sri Lanka Food Act 1980 number 26 of 1980. We know that food safety is essential to every tourism destination. I propose to implement this law to Cagayan de Oro because the objective of this law is to ensure that the food are safe for human consumption and that the distribution are under standard practices and sanitary conditions to attract tourists from different parts of the country and world. This will be called Food Safety and Regulations of Cagayan de Oro Act of 2021.
Nice! Both are great law because one is concerned more on the development of the places and the other one is focused more on the safety and sanitation of the food. Now, our guest from Tunisia is ready. The floor is yours now.
Ana and Dominique Tanyo, Maria Ashwina Sanatan, Wilea Tulmin, Tennis Mintunes. Tunisian Penal Code of Article 121. I propose this law to Cagayan de Oro because in this law, any false accusation or imputation of information that is likely to damage the honor and integrity of a particular person and place. Such person must target personally and suffer direct damage because of publication of this false information and accusation. A people who convicts of defamation is punishable with a fine of 100,000 to 1 million pesos.
Or maybe you can call it hashtag no to fake news. Anyway, our next guest speaker have a tourism law regarding on the arts and crafts. Then, take away.
Hello everyone, I'm Justine and Ranille, 20 years old from Ottawa, New Zealand. New Zealand Morris Arts and Crafts Institution 1963. I propose to implement this law to Cagayan de Oro because the main goal of this law is to preserve and promote arts and crafts of Cagayan de Oro as well as giving importance to its culture, so it can attract tourists from different parts of the country and the world. I will call this law as Cagayan de Oro Arts and Crafts Institution Act 2021.
Excellent law. You know, recognizing the importance of art and the development of country is really important. Anyway, let's move on to our next guest speaker from France, Aubrey.
Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Aubrey Mae Guerrero, venant de Lévis, Le Mans, Paris, France. European Flight Compensation Regulation of 2005, I propose to implement this law to Cagayan de Oro because the regulation provides passengers with protection against travel disruption and serves as an incentive for airlines to maintain a more punctual operations. These rights are also applied for passengers traveling on a holiday package. I will call this law as Cagayan Flight Compensation Regulation of 2021.
Very good law against delayed flight. Mercy, Aubrey. Anyway, since I am your host, I also have a proposed law to our tourism destination. For more information, let's watch this. Strategic Environmental Act of Palawan. I propose this law to Cagayan de Oro City because it focuses more on forest conservation, prevention of illegal logging, preservation of natural habitat of endangered species, protection of ecosystem, and protection of people and their culture. Because protecting ecosystem means protecting humans' life. Anyway, let's move on to our next guest speaker from Italia. The floor is yours now.
Ciao, sono Lehrend Gappi, 21 anni. Vengo dalla provincia di Matera in Italia. Italy Tourism Tax Law Decree number 83 of 2014. Cagayan de Oro should focus on attracting tourists by preserving the culture and the beauty of its territory. Next to well-known art bonus which allows the tax credit benefits in the amount of 65% of the donations made for maintenance, protection, and restorations of the public cultural for the support of institutions of public places of culture, of orchestras, of theaters and festivals, and that therefore only indirectly has to do with the tourism sector. The decree contains some provisions actually aimed at taking care of taxations in tourism. This will be called as the Cagayan de Oro Tourism Tax Law of 2021.
Gracias, Ralph. Now from our last guest speaker, let's hear it from her. Konnichiwa, Nicole.
Ohayo! Watashi no namae wa Nicole desu. Watashi wa 22 歳です. I propose the Japanese Sewage Act to the province of Cagayan de Oro because the main purpose of this act is to contribute to the sound development of the city and the improvement of public health and to preserve the quality of water in areas of public waters. By prescribing matters relating to comprehensive basin-wide planning of sewerage, systems and standards, and etc. for installation and for the other administrative operations of public sewerage systems, regional sewerage systems, and urban storm drainage systems to develop sewerage systems. This will be called as Cagayan de Oro Sewage Act of 2021.
Great law about the improving of sewage system in Cagayan de Oro City. Again, let's have a recap on the proposed tourism law in Cagayan de Oro City. Recap of proposed tourism law to Cagayan de Oro City. First, blood control of the People's Republic of China. We will call it Blood Control of Cagayan de Oro City Act of 2021. Second, Singapore Unlimited Transportation Act. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Unlimited Transportation Act of 2021. Third, Waste Management and Public Cleansing Law of Spain. We will call it Waste Management and Public Cleanliness Act of 2021. Fourth, Korea National Land Planning and Utilization Act. We will call it Disaster Reduction Management of Cagayan de Oro Act of 2021. For the fifth, Maldives Tourism Act of 1999. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Leasing Act of 2021. For the sixth, Food Act and Regulation of Sri Lanka. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Food Act and Regulation of 2021. Tunisian Penal Code of Article 121. We will call it Cagayan de Oro No to Pages Law of 2021. Next is New Zealand Maori Arts and Crafts Institute Act of 1963. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Arts and Crafts Institute Act of 2021. Ninth, European Plight Compensation Regulation of 2005. We will call it Cagayan Plight Compensation Regulation of 2021. For the 10th, Strategic Environmental Plan of Palawan. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Environmental Protection Act of 2021. 11. Italy Tourism Tax Law Decree Number 83 of 2014. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Tax Law of 2021. And for the last, Japan Sewage Act. We will call it Cagayan de Oro Sewage Act of 2021. In this program, we believe that laws are essential in maintaining and achieving peace, order, and success. We hope that this proposed law would be a very big help to our friends in Cagayan de Oro City and would be a start as they aim to be known as a top tourist destination in the world. Thank you so much to our 12 tourism analysts from different parts of the world. There you go, our proposed tourism law to Cagayan de Oro City. Again, I am your host, I am Jhaymark Ronquillo, and thank you so much for tuning in into Warriors Talk. See you again next episode, and please stay safe.